actually I come here with some questions for you more than answers. So the reason I'm here is to ask you a few questions. The European Union is requesting many industries to measure. And actually, you know, the goal is that they should measure in the same way, mainly because of three different reasons. One of the reasons is because there is the emission limit value. And of course, when you measure, you want to know if the process is fulfilling the emission limit value. The second reason is that emission concentration at different times on the same site should be the same. Let's say, if I am in a process and I'm measuring 60 today, in 3 weeks, when the emission is exactly the same, the system should measure 60 as well. And the third reason is that the emission concentration at different sites, meaning that if a plant here in Barcelona is measuring 60, and then an equal plant in Germany or in the UK or in any other place has the same emission level, it should measure 60. And my question to you is this goal always achieved? Then there is 27 CEN members, and then they all have to fulfill and to comply with the standards and with the directives in the same way. Do you think they do? Do you think all of them understand the standards and the directives in the same way? Do you think that a plant measuring in Barcelona, a plant measuring in the UK, and a plant measuring in Germany, they will measure just the same or similar? In Spain, there is 17 autonomous communities. Do they all understand the standards in the same way? Do they use the same answers, technical answers, to measure? Then, if we come to the EN 14181, then you know there is this 3 quality assurance level, and you know, to me, this is a very good standard. Now, there is still open questions. And then, there is many guidance documents, many of them, you know. I have here the pictures, a few of these documents, but there is many more. And then, these documents they don't always use the same answers. They don't always say the same. So if you check these documents, sometimes they tell you different solutions for the same questions. A few words about me and why I'm here talking about this. I started 29, almost 30 years ago as a project manager, doing CM design and installations all over the world. And then 24 years ago, I started to work in a different company, DIMA Consultores, where I'm working today. And my main jobs are usually design, integration, maintenance of CEM systems, and auditing, visiting plants, and checking the CEM systems and telling the customer sometimes is administration and sometimes it is the plant, telling them if they fulfill, if they measure correct, or answering their questions. And then, of course, I'm teaching in different engineering schools and master degrees. So this is a little bit my experience. And then, after visiting so many different plants, after checking the systems in so many different plants, I can see many differences between the way they measure in some places and the way they measure in some other places. And then, since this is a 15 minutes time, so I will tell you a few of them. Yeah, but there is so many. For example, some industries have to inject, they are requested to inject the test gas through the complete sampling line. And some of them do not. They can inject it in the analyzer. And then, you know, when you read the standard, it says the test gas can be injected directly in front of the analyzer, but should be injected preferably in front of the sample conditioning system. So it is open to both solutions. And both solutions, the result is not the same at all. Then, usually we say that when we talk about the certified range, we say usually that the lower the certified range, the better the performance of the CEM. Then, why there is so many different certified ranges in the QL1? Some customers, they are really, they have a lot of questions about this, and many administrations, they say that your emission limit value should have the certificate range in the QL1, which is totally wrong. But sometimes this happens. So many people wonder and ask about this. Then, when we measure, we discount the uncertainty. But how to do it? Many people do it in many different ways. So there is not one way for everybody. Some people discount the uncertainty that they estimated in the QL2. Some people discount the uncertainty that they estimated in the QL1, that it was estimated in the QL1. Some people don't discount anything at all. An administration tells do not discount. Some people discount the maximum permissible, many people do, but even these people doing this, they do in different ways, not only one way. Some people discount the percentage of the ELV. Some people discount the percentage of the instrument measuring. Some people discount the percentage of the instrument reading when it is smaller than the ELV, and then discount the percentage of the ELV. So many different ways. There is not only one, meaning that many different results. Then a few questions sometimes about the QL1. For example, sometimes the QL1, you get a system which is certified. But when you read the QL1 certification, for example, this one, it says that it didn't fulfill for 15267. And then, I mean, today, this is not really happening for new analyzers, but for existing analyzers, this is still happening. Then, let's imagine that I have an analyzer in one stack, and then I have to change it to a different stack, meaning that this is a new installation. If this is a new installation, can I use this analyzer? Because this analyzer is certified, it's got a QL1, but the QL1 says it doesn't fulfill the EN 15267. So many people ask about this as well. Another example like this one, it says that the requirement it should be more than 7.5%, and the result is 7.5. So it doesn't fulfill. You know, today the new one fulfills, the new analyzer, but still there is analyzers like this in the market. Again, another one, it should be, the requirement should be 7.5 for EN 15267, you know, for the actual regulation, and this one is 8.5. So it didn't pass, but there is a QL1 certificate. Can we use it, or we cannot use it? Then, when you change an analyzer, you should do the calibration test and implement the calibration curve within 6 months. During these 6 months, you are supposed to use the previous calibration function. And now it says, where necessary, you use extrapolation. But many people don't use extrapolation at all. If you use an analyzer and now you change to a similar, to an equal analyzer, I agree. But many plants change to a totally different analyzer. Let's say you use an analyzer which raw data is from 0 to 1,000. And then you change, and the new analyzer is from 0 to 4,000. Then the value you get is totally different. If you use the same calibration function, the data is totally wrong. You cannot stay 6 months using the same calibration numbers unless you want to do a totally wrong totally wrong data. Sometimes the test laboratory, they perform linearity and response time with a reference material which is very different than the one that was used in the QL1. And then results sometimes are not very good. For example, sometimes QL1 has used a bottle of dry gas, and then laboratory is using wet reference material. And sometimes it's not really easy and it's not working very well. And then in one of the installations, it was like a so weird behavior. Laboratory was using a wet reference, but the system was measuring like totally random, and we wouldn't understand. So we took the analyzer to our facilities, and then it worked. But it worked very similar with the gas cylinder and with the wet generator, only if nobody was close to the wet generator. Actually, we said that nobody can walk closer than 5 meters. If somebody was walking closer than 5 meters of the wet generator, then the analyzer was measuring totally random data. Why? Because of the walking, then the wet generator has to weight the mass that is getting used. And then whenever you walk within a 5 meters circle, then the result is totally wrong. If this happens in a very stable laboratory, what is happening in a stack? What is happening in a stack where there is noise, when there is people walking, when there is vibration, and so on? Yeah, this is the test I was telling you. Then calibration function shall be done with the AMS conditions. This is the way it should be, but it is always done this way. Do laboratories and do end users always know the way that the analyzer measures? Some analyzers measure dry or wet or normalized, and do they know? Not always. Even sometimes in some plants. For example, I remember this plant, it was a lot of problems with the water, so maintenance people changed the installation a little bit, and then they put a dryer. But they put the dryer, but the software guy didn't know, meaning that the software guy was using wet data, and it was not wet anymore. Now it was dry because it was dry. And then when we audit the plant, we check, and the calibration function, the QL2, was wrong, was totally wrong. And sometimes QL1 is helping you, like it's telling, but sometimes it's not. Then what about when we measure water and we measure oxygen? Some people are requested to do a calibration function, and some people don't. Some people are requested to do QL3, and some people don't. And then, if you are going to do a calibration function, or if you are going to do QL3, you need to have an emission limit value, and you need to have an uncertainty. And then which is the uncertainty? So each place is telling people to use a different one. You know, some guides, like Catalonia guy saying this, and I think this is Ireland one. So there is different people saying different things. In other places, they don't say. They say, use the one you want. Then people use the one they want. And sometimes it's totally different. But I'm out of time. I will finish in 1 minute. This is very important because if we play here, and system is measuring 300, let's say that the emission limit value is 500, and then it depends of the water and the oxygen. If we have this water and oxygen, I'm in 535. So I'm over the emission limit value. But if I adjust a little bit the H2O, then I come to 400. And if I adjust a little bit the oxygen, then I get to 373. So I am already fulfilling the regulation. I'm doing everything correct because nobody told me how to do with the oxygen and with the water analyzers. So it is not written how to do. So in my plant, I can do this, and then I'm below the emission limit value. Okay. This is maybe the last thing I'm going to say. Sometimes the parallel measurements is not the same. It's not easy to compare with the measurement. For example, when we measure HCl, what happens if the plant is using NH3? Can you play the video, please? ¿Puedes poner el video, por favor? Then, here, if we put HCl, did you put the video? ¿Has puesto el video? We put some HCl, we put some NH3, and then HCl is gone. You know, it's totally gone, and then we get ammonium chloride. So analyzers is not going to measure ammonium chloride because analyzer is measuring HCl. However, laboratory is measuring total HCl, so total chloride, so they will measure it, okay? Here, no HCl is there at all. Okay, this is the last one. In this place, the calibration, the QL3 was done to the analyzer, so very good results, but then the sulfur was staying in the line, and at the end, the sulfur blocked totally the line. So no line at all, no measuring at all, but QL3 was really good. And then the customer was very happy. I have very low measurements right now. Of course, you have very low measurements, of course. And then my QL3 is very good. Yeah, but you are not measuring at all because everything is blocked, okay? So how to solve this? If you put the calibration gas up in the stack, you would know that there is QL3 is totally wrong. But if you put it in the analyzer, QL3 is right. Okay, so conclusion. EU directives and standards must be complied all over the European with any alteration, but sometimes this is not happening. People is working hard and very good, but still we need to adjust a few things because results, sometimes they are not comparable into one place and another place. Thank you.